Everyone wants to become like Johan Liebert until they realize what that actually requires. Because Johan was not born terrifying, he built himself into that person, slowly, day by day. The calm voice, the emotionless face, the ability to control people without forcing them. That level of control doesn't come from talent. It comes from routine. And today, I'm going to show you what a normal day in Johan Liebert's life would actually look like. But before we begin, if you haven't watched part 1 of this series, it's pinned in the comments. Watch that first, because this video goes much deeper. Most people wake up already distracted. Phone notifications, social media, music, noise. But Johan Liebert is different. He understands something most people never realize. The person who controls their mind controls everything. That's why his daily routine is built around one thing: absolute control. Not motivation, not productivity, control. And once you understand that, you start understanding Johan himself. Johan would wake up early, not because some motivational guru told him to, but because mornings are quiet, and quiet places are where sharp minds become sharper. The first thing he would not do is touch his phone. Because Johan understands something dangerous. The moment you wake up and consume other people's thoughts, you lose control over your own. So instead, he sits in silence. No music, no distractions, no entertainment, just observation. He studies his own thoughts carefully, like a scientist watching an experiment. Most people run away from silence because silence exposes them, their fears, their insecurities, their weakness. But Johan stays there comfortably. Because if you can sit alone with your thoughts without needing distraction, you become mentally stronger than most people alive. That's why his mornings are calm, cold, controlled. While everyone else is mentally chaotic, Johan is already focused. One of Johan's greatest weapons was never his intelligence. It was how normal he looked. No flashy clothes, no loud personality, no desperate need for attention. He dressed simple, clean, soft colors, perfect posture. Because Johan understood human psychology better than almost anyone, people fear what looks dangerous, but they trust what looks harmless. And trust is the easiest way inside someone's mind. That's why Johan never tried to dominate a room physically. He controlled rooms psychologically. The scary part about Johan is this: he could stand beside you for hours, and you would never realize how dangerous he truly was. Most people today desperately try to stand out. Johan does the opposite. He blends in. And ironically, that makes him unforgettable. While normal people spend hours scrolling through meaningless content, Johan studies people, psychology, history, philosophy, human behavior, because Johan knows if you understand human nature, people become predictable. He studies how fear controls people, how loneliness changes people, how attention manipulates people. Every book becomes another weapon. And notice something important. Johan never talks too much about what he knows. Because intelligent people don't constantly prove they're intelligent. Real intelligence moves quietly. That's why Johan always feels mysterious. You never fully understand what's happening inside his head. And that uncertainty alone makes people uncomfortable around him. Johan rarely talks first. And when he does, his words are calm, slow, and precise. No unnecessary talking. No emotional reactions. No loud behavior. Because silence creates pressure. And under pressure, people reveal themselves. That's exactly what Johan wants. While others are busy trying to impress people, Johan is busy studying them. Their tone, their insecurities, their desires. Most manipulation starts with observation, and Johan is always observing. That's why people trusted him so quickly. He made people feel understood, and the moment someone feels understood, they emotionally open themselves. That's the level Johan operates on, not force, psychology. Johan spends time alone constantly, walking alone, thinking alone, existing alone. Not because he's antisocial, but because solitude sharpens awareness. Most people cannot stay alone without stimulation. They need music, videos, conversations, because silence makes them uncomfortable. But Johan uses solitude like training. During walks, he replays conversations in his head. He analyzes people, predicts behavior, plans future moves. This is something many intelligent people throughout history did. Because when your environment becomes quiet, your thoughts become louder. And that's where clarity is born. At night, Johan reflects, not emotionally, strategically. He reviews the entire day carefully. What worked? What failed? What reactions he noticed in people? He studies himself constantly. Because Johan knows something terrifying, the most dangerous person in the room is the person who fully understands themselves. Most people never analyze their own behavior. That's why they repeat the same mistakes forever. But Johan watches himself carefully. Every weakness gets removed. Every emotion gets controlled. Every mistake becomes a lesson. Day by day, he slowly becomes harder to read, harder to manipulate, harder to defeat. Johan Liebert's routine is not built around motivation. It's built around discipline, awareness, and psychological control. That's why he feels different from everyone else. While most people are ruled by distraction, Johan rules himself. And honestly, that's the real reason people fear him. Not because he's loud, not because he's violent, but because he understands people better than they understand themselves. If you want part 3, where I break down Johan Liebert's manipulation techniques and psychological tactics in detail, comment, "I want part 3," and subscribe, because the deeper we go into Johan's psychology, the darker this series becomes.